In our first NCAA 13 tip, we're going to look at 3 plays out of Ace Bunch that I absolutely love. And these are 3 pretty familiar plays over the last few years, and they are Seattle, halfback angle, and flanker drive. But I'm going to run them a little bit differently this time. Seattle is our main play, so we're going to call that first, and we're going to go against the nickel 2-4-5 defense. This works against any defensive formation in the game, but we have to pick something. So we'll go with nickel 2-4-5, and we'll press the select button when we get in the formation so that we go against random defenses within this formation. Next, we're going to bump and run every single time, and the reason we're going to do that is because using this concept on offense, if we're playing defenders that are playing off our receivers, it's way too easy to get completions. So that's why we're going to bump and run every single time to disguise the coverage and such. So to set it up, we're going to put X on a drag and block our running back to the left. Now, all we're going to do is we're going to stare down 2 receivers, B and RB. Whoever's open, that's who we're throwing the ball to. So the player we're going to look at mostly is B. So I'm staring down B at the snap of the ball. That's what I want to see. Is B covered or not? I see he's covered there. It's real simple. I just tap RB pretty much. Versus 95% of the stock defenses in this game, or base defenses, should I say, one of these 2 guys is going to be open. I tried it time and time and time again versus tons of different defenses throughout this game, and 95% of the time, one of these 2 guys is going to be open for an easy completion. So I'm staring down B. I see that he gets covered. All I do is tap the RB button. Both of their icons are going to be lit up, which means that they're going to be looking for the pass, and they're going to put their hands up and catch the ball. So we don't have to worry about waiting for our icon to light up in order to pass the ball. They're going to be lit literally right when the ball is snapped every single time. So that time we were able to get the B receiver open. Now, one mistake that I don't want you to make when you run this play is something that I ran into when I was learning this play, by trials and tribulations. Is I was getting so excited that the guy was open. I was throwing the ball really quickly, and that was resulting in a lot of incompletions. So you just want to wait 1 second before you throw the ball. If the B receiver is going to be open, he's going to be open. You don't need to get excited and throw the ball too quick, because that's just going to result in too many incompletions, and it's really going to piss you off. Trust me, I was there. So, again, just stare down both receivers. And the thing that's great about this is look at 2 of the receivers. They're running in the same area of the field, so anybody can make this read. It's extremely simple to look to one side of the field and just say, okay, B, nope, covered. We're going to go to the RB receiver. Now, even here, it looks like the RB receiver is covered, but because he cuts to the inside and then goes downfield on the wheel route, we're going to get inside position a majority of the time and still be able to make the catch. So, what if we're going to play an opponent that is pissed off? We're hitting them with B and RB all day long, and he's like, okay, I've had enough. Even if we do it to him twice, he might, if he's a smart player, make quick adjustments. So what I did here was I set up a defense that was making sure that both of these guys were covered. So if you're snapping the ball and both of these guys are covered, what are you going to do? Well, we can hit our A receiver over the middle of the field because both guys are covered, and as you can see, A is wide open. But from what I hear, not a lot of people are confident early. The game just came out. People are not confident throwing the ball downfield. So that's why we've got our drag route as our bailout option, just in case things get sticky. Drag routes are great versus zone coverage. Versus man coverage, whether it's NCAA 09, 10, 11, 12, whatever, slants will always beat man coverage. So if you think it's zone, run the drag. If you think it's man, run the slant. And they're going to be focusing so much on the right side of the field and trying to make adjustments over there that there's a pretty good chance that our slant or drag on the left is going to be open. And the other great thing about this is I truly feel like in NCAA 13, more than any year that we've seen in a while, you're going to be facing people that aren't mixing it up as much as in the past. You're going to be facing people that are going to be playing either a lot of zone or a lot of man. So that's when you're going to want to make your adjustment on the other side of the field. At least in the games that I've played so far, people that are zone guys are calling a lot of zone because they feel like man coverage sucks, and vice versa. So just, make your read and make sure that you're calling the drag or the slant appropriately. Now we're going to look at flanker drive, and I absolutely love this play versus zone coverage. We're going to put X on a drag, A on a streak, and B on a slant out. But this year they removed the slant out and they replaced it with what they call a zig route. And a zig route comes into the middle of the field and then goes out to the sideline. And I absolutely love it for this play, because essentially all it is a delayed halfback route. So let's take a look. If I'm looking at the RB receiver, he's covered. If I throw this ball, that's going to be picked. So I want to make sure that I'm not throwing the ball. So to get our receiver open downfield, that zig route, that delayed route, he's going to cut inside, and we're not going to throw him the ball, even though he looks like he's going to be open, because we're only going to get a couple yards. If they're playing zone coverage, what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the zig route to cut back to the sideline, and now instead of the defender staying with the wide receiver that's going downfield, he must cover that flat, and we're going to get a wide open receiver downfield for an extremely easy catch. So let's take a look at that again. We're going to put X on a drag, although in this case I would most likely put X on a slant, because this is money versus zone. So if they happen to be calling man coverage, the slant is going to be the option that you want to go to. But as you can see, that zig route is pulling down the zone coverages and leaving our wide receiver wide open downfield. I love that play. I've gotten a few touchdowns off it already. And now we're going to look at halfback angle. This is a play that if you want to run a scheme, we're going to look at RB is the first read, A is the second read, Y is the third read, and B is the fourth read. Our opponents, if we decide to use this as a scheme, are going to be focusing on the two outside receivers so much that you're going to have to mix it up. So that's when we're going to be able to hit RB for a quick pass a majority of the time over the middle. I'm just staring down RB. If he's open, I'm going to throw a nice little quick pass. If not, I'm going to look to A on the deep corner. Then I'm going to look to Y, and if all else fails, I'll just go deep for a one-on-one downfield for an easy catch. So just get into practice mode and try these things. This halfback angle play is by no means a money play. It's just something that's going to give you more options when you're running flanker drive versus zone and Seattle versus man or zone. You're going to be running that so much that you're going to need something to confuse your opponent with, and this is a really great play to do those. So again, I'm staring down RB at first, then looking at A, then Y, then deep downfield. Now, if you struggle using these three plays as your scheme, it's okay. Just use Seattle as your third or fourth down play that you really need to pick up the first down, and I promise you're going to win a lot of games.
Fires quickly to the tight end. Fires out to his receiver. Brought down at the 40. Complete across the middle. Touchdown. Quick throw.